One more label try to stop me. It'll be another label, wish they wouldn't sign me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. I be grinding, writing songs, doing gigs in the studio, recording every day. That's how it is. 2 jobs up late all night, no sleep. Got a show, hit the crib, change clothes. That's how it be. Life of an ass. I signed y'all. Ain't gon' let no label rob me of my shine, yo. Not me, yo. You can keep those contracts. That's why not me, yo. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. Yeah, I be busy pushing records on my own. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube videos. Like me, follow me on social media. Labels want you to have 1 million followers. Won't sign me, don't mind me. I do the work on my own independently. I'ma keep trying, I'ma keep shining. Putting work every day, stay grinding. Life of an artist, trying to sign y'all. Ain't gon' let no label rob me of my shine, yo. Not me, yo. You can keep those contracts, that's why not me, yo. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Just another day, another song, and another show. Walk up on the stage and the crowd be like, there she goes. If one more label try to stop me, it'll be another label, wish they would've signed me. You don't want no problems with no problems with me. Say you don't want no problems with no problems with me. If one more label try to stop me, it'll be another label, wish they would've signed me. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what's weird?
Yeah.
You know what's weird? Why am I hesitant to sing my own run on my own song? You know why I'm hesitant? Because Bevan has been singing my run. And I was like, maybe I'm waiting for Bevan to sing my run for me, which doesn't make any sense, but that shows how much she's important to us. So shout out to Bevan. Right now, she is at home watching us from a distance, still sending us that love. If you are here for the first time, chilling with us in the den, welcome to IAG Radio Show. We're so excited to have all of our guests in the building. Yeah, somebody was good and ready on time. Okay. We was like, oh, right on time.
No games. Noleac. Yashin.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for being on the show. I'm going to talk about how being a stalker sometimes is beneficial. You know what I'm saying?
I know when you like somebody's music, you just go after them, eh?
Absolutely. I mean, we'll get into that in due time for sure.
Don't be Moody.
Oh, don't be, because you might get.
That's what got us hooked.
That literally may, yeah, indeed. So, IAG Radio Show, we are a group of young women and a gentleman who came on board with us, and we've been moving since then. We are here to support independent artists as they explore their career in the beginning and further on as they kind of climb the echelons of just life and being in the culture and the social media exploitation, and then just being who you are as a musician, right? And we talk about all those phases. And so we are here to support independent artists, being that I'm one as well. So I know part of the struggle, but I always love to hear and support others. And so I felt like there was a void there. And so that's why we are here to try to close that void.
For sure.
And so speaking of women of color with podcasts, Spotify had it just closed yesterday, an application where you could potentially come to their organization, their actual office in New York, gain a plethora of insightful information, so that, basically it won't be an issue for you learning how to navigate the ropes of social media. And of course, your girls here at IAG Radio Show submitted their application. So we are most certainly interested in moving things forward and getting as much information and insight as possible so that we can just, keep things moving on and on. So with that being the case, I definitely wanted a quick question is, what's good?
We're having we can't hear us too well, so we're trying to make some adjustments there.
Okay.
We want to make sure they can hear us. So
Absolutely. See,
thanks everybody that's watching.
Absolutely, we appreciate that.
I think mine's kind of low.
Yeah. No, you're good.
Yeah.
It's the overall.
Okay.
So
the output. But have you been watching the Facebook thing?
Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah.
On a trial that the whole thing is they believe how the Congress people, like, they don't really know what it takes to do what social media is.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
we're loud and clear now.
It's like
let me quick question. Can you guys hear us loud and clear across our platform? Because we want to make sure that you guys are fully involved
for sure
on the conversation. Technical difficulties are things that people explore and they happen. And as we're growing, we've gotten better technology to ensure that you can hear us full throttle. Awesome sauce. Because I was like, wait a minute, is our stream messed up? All right. Yeah, I can legit hear myself clear.
Yeah.
It's like, how you doing? Okay.
Like surround sound. For
right. So welcome to the IAG Radio Show. We are here to serve and support independent artists. And obviously we are independent and we are artists following our passion. We're here every Wednesday supporting new talent and just learning more about that process of recognizing that you are talented and putting forth the effort to sow into your talent and your gift, not to sound too churchy, and then going from there and, understanding like what it feels like to actually experience yourself once you've said, okay, I'm ready, and then trying to get ready, and then knowing what it feels like to be on social media and trying to get followers and people support you and get gigs and get told no, and then still try to apply for other gigs and figure out what exactly is your lane, right?
Yep.
So
all that.
Indeed. All right. So here's the deal. We obviously apply for Spotify's point to have a part of the win, as I would say it, in terms of women of color in the podcast world, right? And speaking of Facebook, that offered many of people the platform, whether they were amazing or not, the opportunity to kind of develop their own form of podcasting, right?
Sure.
And so now we are in this situation by which social media has infiltrated our lives, so much so that it's out of control. And what's interesting about that? I think I get emails probably once a month talking about identity theft, and how there are now all of these pop-up identity theft companies where they're supposed to protect your identity should it be breached, which is breached often if you're at Target, if you're at Safeway, if you are around the way. I guess the only people who don't get breached are the liquor stores. So buy to the, pay cash, I guess is the idea.
Cash your check and then you buy the liquor.
Right? And pray they don't take a huge percentage out of the whole check, because there's a check cashing fee.
All there in one spot.
Absolutely. And so many of people are like frustrated now that they are made aware that their identity has potentially been breached. And it's kind of like, I remember when Facebook was solely for people who were in college. Like you had to apply, your college had to apply to even get on the social network, right? But you know what's interesting? You know who really started the first Facebook?
Black Planet.
Absolutely, Black Planet. I mean, like my Black Planet page is still up and running. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on. What was your? We all got to do this. We all got to do this, and I would save mine for last. But what was your handle on Black Planet?
Reese Cup for life, like the number 4. Reese Cup for life.
I honestly don't remember.
You whack as I don't know what. Lying like a mug.
I probably had a few. Like I wasn't. I was just on there messing around. I didn't take it.
Whatever. Whacker. Did you have Black Planet?
I wasn't in that era, but
that's
I had
right.
a
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I had a MySpace, and it was Cupcake.
Oh, yeah.
Fancy. Yeah. T, what was yours?
It was actually Angel Innocent.
Oh. Woo, yes. I remember I posted on my Black Planet Planet page that when the sun shines on my eyes turn light brown. You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is, like, till this day, people, when the light shines on my eye, or when I have like eyeliner on and mascara, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know your eyes were this light. And I'm like, yes, I've been saying this since I've been on Black Planet. You know what I'm saying? So
Bev said hers was Bevan Unique.
Oh,
of course.
That's your name, dummy. You like, yeah.
Sexy Lady B.
Oh, that sounds about right. Sexy lady, give me your number, B. So definitely, yeah, everybody had a Black Planet experience or MySpace for sure, right? And so I remember we got on Facebook that they had a clause that said that your pictures that you post are no longer your property. As soon as you post them to Facebook, they own them, right? And so there's a plethora of people who post their babies' pictures. They post them getting engaged. They post a whole rack of stuff. And you know what was weird was that at first it felt like a very protected kind of covenant kind of thing, because it was only selected for certain schools, right? And then they just started expanding to where your grandparents could be on Facebook. And then you like, well, darn, you know? Right. And so here we are now for 2 days watching Mark Zuckerberg pretty much talk about the data analytics and specifics of social media.
They don't know what he's talking about.
They don't know. Okay. As simplistically as is expected is, did people steal or did they buy people's identities? The answer is yes. That's what they did. They said, I mean, now here's the thing. What is he doing that's anything different than when you go to the Burlington of Coat or the Max of TJ and they ask you to give them your phone number, and then you find yourself getting phone calls, or you give your email address and now you're being bombarded with a bunch of emails. Yeah. What's the difference?
It's it's the same thing. I mean, similar things.
Okay.
I mean, other than them tracking, like, what your next clicks are and stuff like that. And
yeah.
Then that's how they advertise for what you're.
Now, I will have to admit, it is quite creepy. Like, if you go onto Walmart's site and you're like, I'm looking for a plush new comforter, and then you find yourself on Facebook scrolling, it's like, plush comforter, $19.99. What the? Yeah,
but I mean, that's what people like. That's what a lot of the younger like that.
Do you like that?
I don't like it at
catered
all
to,
because
really?
I feel creeped out. Like, recently, it's weird. Like, I just got an Apple iPhone. So
okay.
Then I had a Samsung before, but now, like, if I get on Instagram, it's like, welcome home, or hello, good night, Kaylin, or good morning. It's really creepy. It gets very personal, and it's like, I didn't ask for this.
Oh, pause. Yeah. Yikes.
Funny, but we all sort of like, or a lot of people are paying to have that, going on in their homes. That's like with the Google Home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Alexa,
if that thing
all that
started
They're
Decided-
listening all the time. They do the exact same
Big
thing.
Brother's
That's
been
how
doing
stuff
it for a
pops up.
long time. As soon as they said remove all antennas to televisions and take this black box, you should have known then. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I wake up in the middle of the night and I was forced to get a large television in my room because I had a very minuscule television that I've been joned on about that looked like a monitor, like, you know, security monitor. So anyway, I got a larger television and I know I turned the crap off, right? Like, I know I turned it off. But then sometimes, you know, when you wake up and you're like, thirsty, probably want some more cranberry juice or something, or go to the restroom. I noticed that there's a green dot that's on. And I'm confused as to why the green dot is on when I know I turned the television off. Right? Yeah. So can we honestly change this? What do you all feel? Like, do you feel like it's an invasion of privacy? To be honest, the government's been doing a plethora of things they just don't tell you nothing about. But now that we're kind of getting a little bit familiar, you know, how do you feel about that?
I mean, I think we've already gone too far to really backtrack any of this.
Okay.
Like, I feel like, you know, we've already, you know, our information's already out there. Like, it's already out there when they started using credit cards and all that stuff. So I feel like
plastic.
You know, that's why they're like, oh, well, the security's messed up, so everybody has to do this chip now. So it's just like, I think you're vulnerable.
Either way.
Either way, just the way technology is. And if we continue to progress, they're going to find other things to make it convenient for us.
Okay.
And every time it makes it convenient for us, it leaves us prone to more of our personal stuff, I believe. Gets exposed.
How do you feel, Trev?
I think there are things they can put in place to help safeguard stuff a little bit more. But I really think it's about people knowing and understanding what rights they're signing away.
Okay.
When they, you know, when they accept an app or upload an app, when they update, you know,
But you know, speaking of that, we're all forced to do it. Like, it's like either you do this or you can't use the app. There is no I elect not to. Like, there isn't. Like, I
think you just, you know, identified a new product. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, at some point, people want an alternative. You know what I mean? Like, I don't, for the people, for the service for people that don't want their identity out there or don't want to give up all their personal information.
Yeah.
I also think I can predict seeing, because I had this idea.
Okay.
Where you have lawyers that will just create quick videos that summarize the all the language, all the license agreements that you agree to. They give a quick highlight of the key things you want to know or you know, want to be aware of when you agree. I can see that coming. You know what I mean? And that wouldn't be something we pay for, but that would be something that, you know, the companies pay for
as a courtesy.
You know, say, hey, we disclose this information in plain language to everybody.
Well, in disclosing plain information, would being pregnant be something that you disclose in plain information? Like, if you were pregnant, would you be like, I am pregnant, notice my bump?
Baby bump? I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess it depends. It, like, you know, how far along, how sensitive the pregnancy is, you know, whether or not you want to hold that information until later to release that. But I mean, I think that's a very private thing. And if you don't have to be in the public eye, there's no point in it, you know, having to
surface.
Announce that you're pregnant. You know, I could go about 10 months and be pregnant. Nobody know if I stay late. Right?
Woo, T.
But Cardi B doesn't have that option. You know,
right?
So she announced her pregnancy for real on Saturday Night Live, right?
Definitely she did
Saturday. But what do you think? What's your thoughts on trying to hide a baby bump? Or
so I'm going to piggyback off of what our friend to the show, Moo Fresh, talked about on her post, that she was trying to be enlightening, and then people were like saying negative things like Cardi B's trash, so we shouldn't care. Like, she takes this time to have a baby, and she will have no relevance because her skill set is very low, which deviates from the point that she was trying to assert, which was simply, why is it that when women in the industry, and I put quotation industry, when a woman has a baby, it becomes a setback. And it's like most of that setback is also coming from other women who also have had babies, or maybe not have had them yet, but are potentially in the future probably going to have one, right? And then it's like you have naysayers like men who don't ever have the opportunity to have a baby. And it's like you still have to remain desirable to an audience or a fan, because when you lose that desirability, ideally the assumption is that you also lose the fan and the allure of, oh, that could be my girl, right? For artists that are in that lane, if that is who you identify as, right? And so I ask you, because you're a young artist, right? That's clearly a woman and has a future ahead of her, bright future. How do you feel about potentially having a glooming idea of, oh crap, if I'm pregnant, this could be problematic?
It definitely is, I guess I would say, a fear, because I know, like, looking at Cardi B, like, you could definitely tell before she announced it that she was pregnant, but once she did, I thought it was done pretty tastefully, and I thought that was rare. I don't know how long it's gonna last. Like, I don't know. I know she's supposed to perform at Coachella. I don't know who's gonna, like, want to see her pregnant on stage. Like, it was cool to see Beyonce because we think she's like Superwoman, so it's like, oh my gosh, she's doing this crazy thing. So for myself, it is this thing of like a worry of, what if I get pregnant too soon into my career? And it's like, how do you bounce back from that? Or what do I do in that time period? So it's like, I don't understand why in our culture that is even a question to myself, where I have to wonder, like, what's an appropriate time for me to have a child in my career where it doesn't like mess that up for me.
And then just the idea of saying mess up, it's already implanted in our mind. Like, you get pregnant, that's gonna be a problem. Like, I remember in college, it was like, dog, I just can't get pregnant. Like that, that was what people's thought process was. And even in my field of public health, it was like, people would be like, oh, wait, I have an STI. Can I get something for that? I just need to make sure I'm not pregnant. And it's like, that is what people's mindset is focused on, not necessarily the health component of it. It's just how it appears and whatever. And it's like, oh, thinking about being PK and growing up in a church situation, you know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you pregnant? Oh, dang, you pregnant. But it's like, no, you was doing the same hoish type of things that I was probably doing. I just got caught up. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is that any different? But there is a stigma, unfortunately. It is.
I think those are two different things, though. Where you have
it's still pregnancy
that has a career, and you're looking at her getting pregnant and saying, "Oh, this is going to wreck your career." I think that's one thing.
Okay.
I think that's it's real because society looks at it, but it's a made up concern, really. Because if you look at, there are dozens of people, even if you look in just the entertainment industry, you got men that have gone away to prison for a few years, come back, whether you're talking about T.I., whether you're talking about Gucci Mane, whoever, you know what I mean? And Lil Wayne is no problem. They come right back. I also think
Lil Boosie doing, he's recording his daggone album in prison. Like, I'm about to get out, you heard me? You know what I'm saying? And it's people out, all free Boosie. You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
If you look at Cardi B and her fan base, you're talking about mostly women. So for me, it would be really sad if this did hinder her career at all. Because then you're talking about women looking at another woman and saying, I don't want to see you on stage. Because as a guy, I'm not necessarily, going around bumping Cardi B in my joint. Her album rocks.
No, it does.
You said her album. I'm just saying, as far as
it's legit good.
The fellas I know, they not the ones running out like, hey, I gotta get these Cardi B tickets to go see her show. You know what I mean? At most, they going if their lady wants to go, or you know what I mean. Every now and then, it's gonna be a bunch of women there. You go.
I mean, but the gay community guys, they yes, honey, they coming. But I think with Cardi B, her
category of
but Cardi B, her personality goes a long way. So like, I think sometimes that oversells whatever you're going through. Like Chris Brown, his talent, he had the Rihanna thing. Yes, he went through the hiccup, but his talent still shows.
I would have still gone for those discount tickets.
Yeah, that didn't bury him. Like the Rihanna thing didn't bury him. So it's always based off of what your strength really is, like, and whether or not you can actually overcome something. Like, so if somebody that all they're doing is selling their body and they get pregnant, they who checking for them then? You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
That's not Cardi. Cardi's her personality.
She's not that anymore.
Yeah. Her personality is what sells now. So as long as she has her personality, people are like, oh yeah, that's Cardi. You know, that's she's okay. It's okay. She's pregnant.
Okay. I can't even do it. But but you know, I definitely think congratulations are in store for Cardi, because I mean, no matter how talented she is, the fact that like she literally was like, I'm free now. I can literally stop having these interviews with me on a couch twisted this way or having something covering myself. And it's just like, dang, you know, there's such a huge emphasis on that. And then there's other emphasis on people who are pregnant, and some people just don't care. Like, you know, Tristan, I guess. And it's unfortunate that, you know, you have baby daddies who don't appreciate and lift you up like in the way that they should, you know. And I don't know the full backstory. I'll put that caveat out there now of Tristan's lifestyle. But TMZ apparently saying he has a routine behavior of like cheating on his baby mamas while they are pregnant. And that's terrible. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I've never been pregnant before. But definitely I would assume that that's a very, very intricate, like delicate time in your life as a woman. And you want as much support, and especially you want that support from the person who helped to create the individual that's actually growing inside of you. I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, Treb, you're our dad on the show. I mean, you have children.
I'm not buying this whole Tristan Chloe thing. Like, you got to look at the family. Come on, that's a thought family right there.
Yeah.
Like, the whole family. You know what I mean? Like, this was a business decision on some level for her to deal with another basketball player. You know what I mean? And you know how basketball players roll, and you know how the reputation of your family. So come on, man. Like, I don't know if they're upset because I don't really follow all that, but they convinced me with, you know, oh, this happened. Oh, nah, man. You knew what was going on. We knew how this was going to go. Basically what you're saying is you already knew what dude was like. You just mad that it got out in the public. Is that what you're saying?
If they're mad though, because it's like usually we find out things like later, like it's already been discussed. Like, hey,
this was in October. Yeah,
this is about to drop, so they've had time to like think it over and do whatever, and we just get to see like what they allow us to see. So this is something they've like decided. Okay, I'm going to share this. So it probably is a business venture.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you got to be careful because there's always some kind of different thinking behind things, and you know, there could be a subliminal thought, you know, behind what people's actions are, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Speaking of subliminal thought,
indeed,
we had an artist submission, subliminal thought submitted in their music. It's called The Revival, and subliminal thought is actually Mr. City, who's a local rapper, and
Jury City,
Jamel, from Mr. City, and then and Kenna Wolf Katrina. So it's a group. It's them together, and it's a duo of them together. This song right here, it was submitted for us by Division Entertainment. It's fire, y'all. It goes hard. Check it out. All right.
Listen. Look, we about to get loose for a second. Ain't no telling what these gonna do to this record. Ain't no telling. Cause I've been spitting in the booth for a second. Just came out. Now I had the juice for a second. Look, I'm first and never two for a second. You was hot last year for like 2/2 of a second. Now it's my year. I've been due for a second. Took a minute, but these knew the coup for a second. Drop one album, now we do for a second. Hands out, free food, asking for seconds. Look, I do this here with mad passion, aggressive. When I spit, I make them listen. The class is in session. Look, your favorite calling me, asking for lessons. What to write about and what to do, asking suggestions. Look, I told that before feet, I can help you when you ready. Hit me till then, stop asking me questions. Rap phenomenon, fall like they Babylon. Tell you anything, just be talking that Babylon. Mama never raised me to foe, she told me progression wrong. Let niggas know off the top and they wanna dress you wrong. I want the whole house, no dairy on. First class feet on the couch, no carry on. Flight quick, only flew for a second. Clock kept, boy, I'm in and out the booth in a second.
Yeah, city, then I break on the birds until we let go. Take him for a sip if you wanna and see how that go. City ABs on the corner, plotting the only. Yeah, you can read if you wanna. On keep on feeding Corona. Well, I be drinking Corona. Stay with the fly senora. We skinny dipping La Hora. Yeah, I'm the Captain Door. So I explore where I wanna. So y'all be blessed with the honor. Watching the rocks on the nugget, the tippy top of beyond you. You nerve to ask me, please, Mr. City, please, slow. Derail, they wanna ban them. Know to take a microphone hostage for no ransom. Did it and I use it again. Now throw your tantrum. I've been dope, don't need your approval. Been a boss man, exec level before I knew you. I can dumb it down, or maybe if you hung around, you might learn a lesson or two. So sit somewhere, clown. I'm blood bought, mixed in real focus. I swear, it's not my fault, the good Lord chose us. The more you know, can't say I ain't told you. So cry your eyes out, kids, I ain't over.
I ain't joking
For real, dog,
I'm too focused.
better sleep with one eye open. Time's up, game over. They better pack it up and start right over.
For this get the acting up and fuck right on you.
Oh, behave, just a couple O's away.
We rich now, getting money till we old and gray. Rolling J's, Trey smoking O's for days.
So yeah, we finished now. This the part we supposed to wait. See ya.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you know, it was like, see ya.
So I was like, that thing goes hard.
2 for days. I was like, oh.
Yes. So thank y'all for submitting that. Division Entertainment. If you're an independent artist out there and you want to submit your music, submit it to us at iagradioshow@gmail.com.
Or just tag us in some dope stuff. Just
definitely.
go ahead and tag us at IAG Radio Show. We are here to support for sure. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That's what we do. Now, let's get into some things here, okay? Because I don't want to get a little bit too moody too soon. Because I'm a little temperamental. So here's the deal. I was listening to a song by DuPont Brass, who will be on our show in July. And it was their debut song, ILM, which stands for I Love Music. And I was in the gym, which I'll be returning to on Friday. And I was like, okay, cool. You know, I'm all right. And I was on SoundCloud, right? And the next song came. I skipped the other one. Skipped to something else. This is a different artist. And I kept skipping and kept listening. And then I heard this dope song by none other than our feature guest for this evening.
Yeah.
And I was like, Moody. I don't know why, but I like it. Yeah. Like, it just came on and I was like, yo, oh my God, it's so good. Like, I literally was like, copy and paste this album artwork, you know what I'm saying, this cover art. And we got to make it a Monday inspiration type of, you know, shout out to new artists type of thing. Not to say that this artist is new, but new in a sense that I have yet to have the pleasure until just that moment to actually hear, you know, who she is and then like what her vibe is like. I just thought it was totally different and unique. So because I'm moody or not, you take the choice. I want you guys to listen before we even introduce her officially.
Yeah, and we actually, since we played Moody before, we're going to play Glow.
No.
I'm sorry. We played Moody. I mean, we want to play it like, we're going to try to, we want to give them everything. We want to give them everything. Yeah.
Okay, we want to support you.
Yeah.
It's like, no. So this is the glow up, you know what I'm saying? Glow up and grow up.
Post Moody.
Okay.
Moody no more.
Okay.
All right now.
Take it and just breathe me back. Park your car outside and baby come to mine. I'll lead you in, baby. I see you in my dreams.
Okay.
Yeah. People liking that. They want to know how we can get that though.
That one is only available on SoundCloud because I don't have rights to it.
All right. So yeah, get that.
Go on SoundCloud.
Yeah, Dave, get that on SoundCloud.
Yeah. So I just like your vibe is so refreshingly like dope. It's like a vibe that you can be working out to. You know what I'm saying? You don't feel like you're gonna have a heart attack. You feel like, it can be a calm like groove. You know what I'm saying? Like definitely like if you just need to calm down off of something, you just like, let me just go ahead and slide this on real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like
it out in the lounge.
Oh, right.
Like
okay. Hookah experience.
I see myself.
Yeah. Like pass and puff. Let me have a little Washington apple. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very great. And then like your personality is so like bright and like bubbly and sweet. And it's like, okay, so let's talk about the transition of who you are as a person and how you display yourself in your music.
Okay.
So, okay. Let's get some background because I know you from Louisiana. You heard me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not too far away from New Orleans, maybe distance in terms of driving. Or you can take a 737 that goes straight up in the air at 90 degrees. We all said no to that, but there's a new Boeing 737 that's out. We saw it, and
Not
it literally it goes like this. He thinks it's not real, but we know that you are, and you put us on a natural high, so that way we can continue to reach the mountaintop, right? So what is something about you that most people don't really know about you? You know what I'm saying? What do you...
I went to school. I went to Virginia Commonwealth in Richmond. Oh, sorry.
No, you good.
I went for journalism, and I was there. And then, like 2 years in, I ended up getting a job at like a recording studio. And because I had sung all my life, but I had never like decided like that's what I wanted to do for myself. And so,
were you like secretly writing for other people?
No, I wasn't really writing at all. Like I would write sometimes.
Okay.
But it was just like in the back. At the recording studio, I was just learning how to like record people. So I would just make money like recording my rapper friends. And you
were a female producer.
Hey,
something like that.
Okay, and you'll sound in. We're not even gonna say sound engineer. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Yeah. So I was doing that, and then one day I was like, oh, if I wanted to record a song of my own, I could. I mean, I know how. So I tried, and I recorded it on my laptop, and I was like, oh, I like this, and I kept it to myself for like a really long time. And then when I did show someone, they were like, send me that, and I was like, okay. And then like I showed like a couple more people after that, and they liked it, and they would just like kind of be singing it in our conversations later. And I'm like, okay, I might be onto something. Okay. So then I met someone at college, and we worked on some music together, and from there I just kept going.
You kept going. Yeah. That's dope. Is there somebody in your family that sings, or is it just a natural kind of gift that was born into you?
Yeah, so I had an aunt that sang when I was growing up, and then I have another aunt who's a beautician, and like I would always just be hanging out with her on the weekends, and she always sung. So I was always like loved to sing, but I never saw myself doing it. I guess like in my confidence and different things, like seeing myself do it for me. It was never a thing. It was just like I just like to sing in my room by myself.
Well, congratulations to your friends who definitely poured into you to say, yo, I think you got something here and you should like pursue this more. I mean, that's always a good thing when you have friends that are truly supportive, because that shows like, it reaffirms some stuff that you may not necessarily kind of gather by yourself, So what would you say your genre is? We got the the Louisiana experience, you know what I'm saying? What other kind of influences are there musically? What would you say is your genre, if you have one? Don't feel like you need to be put in a box.
I feel like I like to call it experimental modern B. And just because like my traditional like sound, I guess, is more R&B. Like that's the music I like grew up on and was singing. I grew up on all types of music, but I would say it's that. But like my beat selection and overall like the place that I like to take the music, it could change. Yeah. So that's why I say experimental. But I'm influenced by everything: country, jazz, folk music, like Jim Croce. I love him. Tracy Chapman, like very random people, and it just like I always find messages. A mosh posh of awesomeness.
Posh. There you go. I think it's always necessary to kind of be able to pull your strengths from different people, because we are influenced. Like people be like, oh, I ain't influenced by nobody. You're lying. You know what I'm saying? Like whether you recognize or not, there's some seed that was planted in you at some point that you're like, I kind of take that with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what point did you kind of share let's talk about your growth as an artist, right? Because you went from, all right, I'm just going to dabble and just record a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Let's cut and paste, splice this right here, to let me try this out myself, to, all right, I done did this. I'm going to keep this in the closet for a little while. And then I'm going to share it with my friends. I shared it with my friends that are like, yo, I kind of like this. How you doing today? I'm good. I'm moody. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever, it kind of comes out in conversations. We got that clear. All right. So what, from that point to now, have you grown as an artist?
So after like that, when I first started to do music, I was very adamant about it. I was like recording, like I would go to school class and then I would go to my friend's house and stay there like really late just making music. I go to work. That was my schedule. And then I got in a relationship, and then it was like music was still my focus, but I was starting to lose that focus because I just was giving my energy to a lot of other things. Okay. So then, and after that relationship, I realized like, okay, I've been here before, and I more so being there of like recognizing that I was losing myself, so needing to like strap back and get forward. So your question was,
how did you grow as an artist? So one of the things that you kind of pointed out on like a superficial level is recognizing like the idea of not losing yourself so deeply and the idea of not trying to record so heavily. And I guess it's the idea of trying to create that balance in between of having your life while having music present, because that gives you joy at some point, and then recognizing how to kind of make that into something. So what have you, so outside of those two things, what would you say now, if you looked at yourself now compared to yourself that, you know, that was just trying to splice and cut, you know, things before in the studio to where you are now?
Before, I guess I was like, I knew that I had the talent, but I was looking at other people to help me so much with it. So I was allowing a lot of other voices in and just taking their opinion and not mine. So it became a point where I wasn't really doing it for myself, and I wasn't doing it because I loved it. I was just trying to use what these people were saying was a gift to me to get me out of what I don't know. But it was like, I was seeking it to be my way out. Whereas now I see like my music is like, I'm doing this because I love it, and I love the reaction I get from people, and I love being able to connect with people and mirror with people in like experiences. So now I see it as like my way to serve. And so it's not an ego way of me looking like, oh, I want to be popular. I want like my name here so it could get me out and I won't have to worry about these things. Like it's nothing about that anymore. Now it's just the focus of me trying to serve and use myself in the way of the light.
Man, that's such a beautiful, reflective way to put it. And I think many people don't get it until something, you know, serious happens in their life that they're like, whoa, wait a minute, this is not even.
You had an aha moment.
Yeah, there's that aha experience of like, wait a minute, I was doing it for the wrong reasons, or I was doing it because somebody else was pushing me to be somebody that they wanted to be that they couldn't be. You know what I'm saying? And I think there's a fine line between listening to people saying like, yo, this is what your sound should be, and versus saying, nah, this is what you're going to have to do because this is what you need to be doing. If you don't do this, you whack. You know what I'm saying? And that puts a lot of pressure on an artist, and especially because artists grow, and as they gain more insight into themselves, their music sometimes reflects that. You know what I'm saying? And even trying to figure out what genre are you, like that depends on what kind of venues you planning to try to get into. You know, what are your networking? Who are you going to collaborate with? You know, and I bet you have some stories about that. But you know, sometimes you just gotta shut stuff down. You know what I'm saying? And be like, listen, the kitchen's closed.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's your song right there. We want to get into right quick. It's super dope and has that chopped and slop mix, right?
Yeah. Noleac right there.
Hey.
I feel like body roll right here.
Oh yeah, this is definitely body roll music.
That is hard.
Why you gotta act so superficial? Moving with your wrist slow, slipping on your hustle, baby. Missing on a simple conversation, lower your elevation, baby. If you're talking to me, yeah, be in a wood frame. Why you wanna hurt me, hurt me, hurt me? Yeah. Why you coming at me with that fake? Yeah, trying to escape. Yeah, I'm not the one I ain't. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're reading the wood frame. Why you wanna hurt me, hurt me, hurt me? Yeah. You're tripping on a Friday night. Who's gonna hold me tight? You're slipping on a Friday night. Who's gonna love me right? Leave me out to dry from these tears I haven't cried.
Show me all you knew it, so he waited round. All up on the curb, drop it down. Entering for your space, yeah, watch out now. Important, recorded, and had it, and brought it. Treat me like you should, now you wishing that you could. Bet your best that you would, just a week when it was all good. All good, all good. It's too late now. Now you play like you're really deep down, you can truly see.
That little red
Right. Hey.
You're all that mattered to me.
Hey.
Why you gotta act so superficial? Moving with your wrist slow, sitting on your hustle, baby.
I feel bad for this
Missing on a
person.
simple conversation, lower your elevation, baby. If you're talking to me, yeah, be in a cool frame. Why you wanna hurt me, hurt me, hurt me? Yeah. Now you coming at me with that fake, yeah, trying to escape, yeah. I'm not the one I ain't, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're reading the wood frame. Why you wanna hurt me, hurt me, hurt me? Yeah. You're tripping on a Friday night. Who's gonna hold me tight? You're slipping on a Friday night.
Hey.
Who's gonna love me right? Leave me out to dry from these tears I haven't cried.
I was anxious, rather rambunctious. You caught me swinging from the chandelier. I knew I was the it like the candy street. I hadn't anything to fear. Now the bombs are all over.
Yeah.
This side, my words
I kind of, you know, dig it for sure.
It's a whole vibe.
Yeah, the kitchen's closed, baby.
She made me move, show me how to groove.
Oh, yeah.
Now slip inside. Emotion made me move, show me how to groove. I'm feeling
Yeah, that's legitimate.
That's legit.
That's legit.
Thank you.
So, in our day and age of social media, how do you feel you've tried to gain your balance? Because, you know, so a lot of artists that come on talk about a blessing and a curse. Obviously, it was a blessing in my regard to be able to be connected to you, right? Because I just stumbled upon you, right? Which is the benefit of SoundCloud, right? Like you can, and Spotify, you can just randomly be listening to something, and if it matches a certain, you know, vibe or feel, boom, your song potentially can be now explored by a whole new host of people that otherwise would have never had that opportunity. So how do you feel about social media right now as an artist?
It's very helpful in the fact that it gets my music out there. I get to connect with people. I get like a lot of opportunities, like people that I would have never like seen had I not had my music on a social media platform. I have that opportunity now. I notice like sometimes I will feel really drained because for myself now, I try to be more engaged and like show people my journey in this musical transition and like me just living my life and learning and growing. And sometimes I will feel really drained and I have to take like a step back and just like figure out how to recalibrate myself because it feels like I gave so much of myself away. Even if it's something small, like I remember like I did a show one time and then like I was on my phone after and I just started to feel like a headache. Like I felt really like off. So just trying to find that balance of like how to replenish myself after giving myself away.
Yeah.
But other than that, I feel good about social media for my music. And
yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I think one of the things that's been stated often is to say social media is a tool that you should use versus social media being something that uses you. And I think that's the hardest thing is knowing like how much of it do you have to disclose. And it's like part of you possibly does, you do want to have that engagement, right? To be like, I'm reachable, I'm touchable, I'm regular, I'm human. Like this is what I look like with no makeup on today. And this is what I look like fierce looking, and it's hard because you want that balance. And sometimes you're like, dang, what should I post? I gotta just post something just to post. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know. And I feel like that is one of the biggest things that's like, especially when you're independent and you don't have a publicist yet. You know what I'm saying? You are trying to do it yourself. And I mean, there's all these stories, yes, of other younger people, mumbo trap rappers who are able to just post whatever the crap they feel and they get like thousands of followers and everything else like that, and they just they don't really care. I just post this because I felt like it. You know what I'm saying? I post my socks and it gets 100,000 likes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you yourself as an artist are putting so much more effort into trying to figure out what is it that's going to be able to captivate my potential crew of supporters. And I think that's the part that's the most difficult because it's kind of like the draining component comes in. It's like, do you secretly find yourself trying to get validation from the social media experience, or are you able to kind of turn it off and be like, oh, I just do it because I got to, like how have you been in that position before?
I feel like in the past, like a year ago when I was like doing music and not really getting too much, I would have feedback, but it was definitely not like anything right now. So I was thinking that it was a strategy, like there's a way to do this. So then I was looking for like this feedback and this like, why am I not getting these numbers or something like that? And then once I decided like I didn't care, and I was just doing it to do it. And then like I started to be more vulnerable and share myself and share my story and where I really was in life, then people naturally just like gravitated toward me. So it got a lot easier. Okay.
And then in terms of venues, you know what I'm saying? You are performing kind of like all on your own. So how did you come about to, navigate yourself to getting booked? And you're not necessarily pressed for the over the top, venues that everybody knows, but you're it seems like you have a strategy in terms of what you're doing in terms of booking shows. How did you discover that strategy?
So when I first started performing a couple of years ago when I did shows, people would just reach out to me and ask me, because I lived in Richmond, so they would have like a lot of different events. And so people reached out to me. And then for a while after, like a year after that, I didn't perform at all. And then it became this thing where I was trying to like work myself back into it. And it's always really been people just asking me. Yeah, I can't really think of a show that I've had so far where I've asked someone. But I'm at a point where I feel like I might need to start asking. Not that I need to, because people are reaching out to me, but just to like continue on, like that might be something I could do to better myself. But yeah, usually people just ask. Yeah.
And I mean, that's also good, which means that there's another support and that people are paying attention, right? But in terms of like, making that next step, I definitely think you should already be in that zone. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Mainly because of just the quality of music that you are already producing, right? And the fact that, you have numbers. And so, and unfortunately, it's an era of numbers. They want to know well, how many followers do you have? Okay. And if your followers ain't really much of anything, well, how many spins do you have? And if the spins ain't too much, it's kind of like, well, do you have an article that's been written up about you? And it's like, you know, what radio shows have you done? And it's like, you know, part of my role, you know, our role here at IAG is to give people an opportunity to say that they've done it, because it seems like everybody who's been on IAG, once they come on, they blow up. You know what I'm saying? Like,
stuff. I'll take that blessing.
That's good stuff.
Lovely situation. Yeah.
Sure.
But what has been the hardest? I'm going to start with that first one. What has been the hardest thing that you've experienced so far as an independent artist?
Well, before it was like people that wanted to work with me or different things, just really making sure I was doing things that was true to me and not just like learning how to say no was a job. But now that I have, it's like
a lifesaver.
It's a lifesaver.
Okay.
Yeah, and it like my energy's not drained. Like I don't have to like put myself into situations that I wouldn't want to be in. Not that I ever had to, but I guess when I first started out, I had this thing of like feeling like I needed to, and I don't feel like that anymore.
That's
I'm okay
what's
with
up.
saying no.
So learning how to say no is very powerful, and it protects you, I presume, as well, right?
We all can take that lesson.
I mean, I know it has to feel
my time.
Come through, exactly. Auntie Maxine. Yeah, I definitely think that it's something that's inevitable that you have to learn at some point. You know, because like, I know for me, it's like, okay, all right, yes. But then I'll say yes, but then I'll find myself like, you know, calling T and be like, all right, well, I did this and I'm confused. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know how in hell I did this. But now I'm stuck doing this, and, you know, now I've got to figure out how to distance myself from this circumstance. And I think we had a question last week about like, with Boomscat, about like, when have you ever had to kind of distance yourself from another artist, or you know, just say, okay, this is not up, you know, this is not really vibing too well, in the light of, we were talking about Nene Leakes and her being kind of asked to leave the Escape tour, and Candy was like her champion of saying like, no, she should be on, but she had said something that was kind of offensive in the light of so much of the Me Too experience going on, and that was kind of before Me Too, but it still was in that women's empowerment now. And you know, it's like you got to distance yourself from some people, and Trev talked about how he had to say no to certain people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can't ask you to help me, but I can help you find somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
So, and then to the flip side of that yin and yang is, what has been the most rewarding experience or thing that you've acquired or learned from as an independent artist?
The impact that it has on my life to like serve people, and because like when I moved to Maryland, I got a job as a server, and I just recently resigned from that job. But while I was there, I've really learned like the power of serving people, and like that's my life purpose, and that's so fulfilling to me, to like help other people shine their light and reflect that light. And if people like come up to me at my shows and they're like, oh, I love this, whatever, it's just like, I'm like, it's a mirror, like you're seeing yourself, and me like even noticing that it's a mirror, and we're just like bouncing off these energies, it helps me in my performance like so much. Like I'm able to be free, and I'm able to just like really enjoy myself, whereas in the past, like I would have performances and I would be so nervous, and I wouldn't really give it my all, and now it's like, I got that, I don't care. And I just like, I give it all away.
So with that being the case, that's so dope, first of all.
Thank you.
Do you prefer to perform with a live band, or do you prefer to perform with your tracks?
So I've only performed with a live band like twice, and it wasn't a situation where I'd ever practiced with them. But I really enjoyed it while I did do it. So I believe if I like practice, and it was actually like my band or a situation that was worked beforehand, I would really enjoy it. But right now I've just been performing with my tracks, and that's fun too. But I would like to perform with the live band.
We should definitely make that happen. There's plenty of dope musicians around town, you know what I'm saying, for sure. And you're in town now, so there we have it. We'll connect you. You know, no problems. Sure. You know what I'm saying? We are the plug. So what's next for you? What do you think is next?
I'm taking day by day. I'm a Libra, so I'm very airy, and I just like go with the wind. Yeah.
That's why you're so sweet.
Libra.
Yeah, my grandma was a Libra.
Oh, yeah, bless her heart. Yeah. So I'm just like I have.
Yeah. So knowing how to say no is a big deal for you.
Yeah. Knowing how to say no is a big deal for me. Going forward, I've just been like making music and just like living my life and just remembering like what I'm doing it for. So just making sure I'm growing to be a better person, and then like that just helps my music, and I just want to keep reaching people. And
now that you said you're a Libra, it makes perfect sense for you to say to make a decision and to stick with your decision. Okay.
Awesome. You're getting some love. John Jackson, he shot you out. He said his best friend.
Brother.
Yeah, okay. He's like his best friend's on the radio. So So
we got love for you. Thanks for tuning in, John. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you share it so other people can see.
He did.
Oh, that's what's up. We love you, John.
Thanks, John.
John,
Ivory, he's an artist as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, Ivory.
Yes. Oh, y'all had a song together.
Yeah. We just One Way. We just dropped that. Yep.
That's the way you do it.
I wanted to play it too, but we gotta play it next show.
Okay. Because I'm about to get moody.
So much fun.
Okay, because that's my jam. Okay. That's how I discovered you. You know what I'm saying? People be pressed to talk about how they discovered me. I discovered you when I was on the elliptical. You know what I mean? All right, bet. So we definitely want people to be able to follow you and to get hip to who you are, your realness, your ability to say no, your vibes, the unique and eclectic way of putting music together and producing it. So real quick, I know this is not a question that we have written down, but I'm just thinking about production wise. How much of the production do you still do for yourself now?
So I don't do any engineering by myself. I have some songs that I've engineered for myself that just have never came out because I never like finished them.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, I record in my mom's basement, and then I send it off to my engineer Curb, and then he brings it back.
Curb is the business, because if that's what you do, and it come out like kitchen is closed, we need some contact information for Curb.
Curb Minder. It's funny because like in the song I say something all up on the curb, verb jot it down, and like later on I was like, wow, his name is Curb, and then he like in the song it like goes down, it jots down, and I was just like, wow,
Curb is we like
shout out to Curb Minder.
Hey Curb, don't mind us because we'll mind you. Okay. All right. So
definitely
if you want to follow no, you should follow
definitely
Noleac. Okay. And this is how you're going to follow her. You're going to go to IG right now. Write it down. And I'm going to spell it for you because it's double tagged in our actual file already, right? But it's NOLEACYAHSIN. Now you got some things in your name, like there's sin. I'm not going to say nothing about that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? there's a no in there. So you had to learn.
No to sin.
No to sin.
No to sin.
Transitions.
So, but heaven's all around me.
Heaven is all around us. And speaking of heaven's all around us, Saba, who everybody's been talking about Cardi B's album that dropped Friday, but Saba dropped his sophomore album Friday, and it's super dope. It's called Care For Me. I want everybody to check it out. He's an independent artist from Chicago. This is his song right here called Heaven All Around Me. Check it out.
Hey.
Oh, and he's going to be at the Fillmore Saturday. $17.
Oh. 17? Yeah.
Yelling at my mother like I know you hit me. Get a little closer, repeat. Bus driver pass me up, don't see me. Paramedic talk about what he need. He need his oxygen. They seem incompetent. I see the consequence. I walk where I can't hear them.
That bass right.
Follicle. I promise y'all I'm not a goose. I promise y'all. Look, there's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around. No, I can't feel pain, but I can't see the stars. No, I ain't leaving vain, but I know we with God. There's heaven all around me. 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 No, I can't feel pain, but I can see the stars. No, I ain't leaving vain, but I know we with God. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven.
Hey.
Yelling at my brothers like I know that I'm here. Regardless how loud they don't hear. Walking through the crowd, they shed tears. I know I did not disappear. Uphill I'm battling. I see the cameraman. I see the news stations. Truck parked outside. It's every channel. Yeah. Interview, cut. Someone just bled out because they got chalk outline. Look like the shape of my shadow. And go right through the wall if I try touch. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven. No, I can't feel pain, but I can't see the stars. No, I ain't leaving vain, but I know we with God. There's heaven all around me. 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 No, I can't feel pain, but I can see the stars. No, I ain't leaving vain, but I know we with God. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven all around me. There's heaven.
What?
Yeah. This is beautiful.
Hermione could do this. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of heaven there.
I'm hooked on the whole album. The whole album's dope.
I mean, that was a lot going on. I mean, that was so dope.
That's just a little bit. And he has a song on there with Chance called Log Out. It's super dope too.
I just love how people from it, the Chicago love, like that is Chicago what too, so. Yeah, I mean that's what we're trying to do here at IAG. You know what I'm saying? We're not solely just focusing on DC at all, but we got to bring the love together. You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't be no problems, getting on or helping each other collab. Like that is the essence of moving things forward. Like I was watching Rapture and it was I watched Rhapsody's version, her episode of Rapture, and how there were other people who had to validate her, but they validated her without any hesitation. And as a result, like now, I'm not a big fan of Jay-Z's per se, but if I was a rapper, right, and Jay-Z came up to me, first me being introduced to him, and he's spitting bars that I wrote off of my album, that's a humbling experience.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what happened to her. Yeah. And, the collaboration is real. You know what I'm saying? She's from a small town in North Carolina, but yet, people were there to help her, give her opportunities to be on featured opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And hey, who knows?
She was on some Kendrick stuff.
Kendrick definitely chose her on that. You know what I'm saying? Like that. The stamp of approval is real. And I just want us to try to be able to do that here in the DMV. Stop the haterization. Like, let's be real. Okay? Nobody wants to be in competition with you. And if they are, they probably can't be you. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like, that's one of the things that I think everybody has realized. No matter, you may want to be where that person is. Like, you may want to be able to be on that festival. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, shoot, if you can't get on that festival with them at that time, collab. Be like, yo, can I do something with you? I'm not trying to steal nothing from you. I just want to, because you're dope. And I just want to, vibe, and so that's always a great thing. Right. And so, I mean, it's the idea of like, you ask people like, let's talk together. You know what I'm saying? Can I talk to you for a second? You know what I'm saying? So that we can kind of make things better. You know what I'm saying? And with that being the case, you got Brent.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk to you. Yeah, dude.
Oh, we going there. I don't even know what time it is. I don't have, I feel so distinct. He was like, okay, I'm just going to play it right now.
About that pretty brown frame, and I don't mean any parlor that you just hopped out of. Go on about your business, you must be religious. God done took her time. And you're tired of hearing those same old lines. Talk something new. And look the same to you. Talk to you about something new. Me, get home with you. Talk to you about something new. I ain't gonna pretend to look the same to you. Talk to you about something new. I just wanna get home with you. The truth is, I came to know ya. Don't give a damn about the things they told ya. Cause they don't have a clue, but they don't need you like I do. You don't need champagne. You'd rather be held tight and maintained. I wanna know everything about you. My friends are gonna talk to you. Talk about something new. And look the same to you. Talk to you about something new. Get home with you. Talk to you about something new. I ain't gonna pretend to look the same to you. Talk to you about something new. I just wanna get home with you. Don't mind. I wanna be the only one on your mind. Don't mind. I wanna get the chance to spend some time. Can I talk to you?
You know what this song reminds me of? Like, I feel like I'm in the 90s with that part right there of like No Diggity, No Doubt, or like a Maya, or like a Missy Elliott when she's like, you know, or even a little Destiny's Child. Come. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just feel that 90s vibe a little bit right there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah. And so congratulations to Brent, because he's doing some amazing things, taking data analytics and being able to tour in venues that are smaller than what we would expect. You know what I'm saying? Nice. But he's selling them out. Nice. Like nobody expected, but with the help of his manager and looking at platforms for Spotify and SoundCloud to see where super fans are, super listeners basically, he's able to go to those different cities and plot out and talk and have those conversations with venues to say, hey, you should book me, and this is why, because I'm going to sell it out. And that's exactly what he's been doing, and he's been able to go from, I guess, being a round the way dude to, blowing up and doing things, because he had the opportunity to collaborate on the song that everybody knows. What's the name of that song? I can't.
Money, all the friends.
Yeah. I feel like I'm
Gold Link.
Right.
Who's
from
Crew?
Who is from DC, right? And they're going against the grain and saying, screw it, we're going to collaborate. You know what I'm saying? I guess now when you get to a certain point, you're like, wait a minute now. I ain't about to collaborate everybody. You know what I'm saying? But, definitely you got to catch them when they still on the humble level. You know what I'm saying? When they still the touchable, where they read the DMs. You know what I'm saying? So definitely shout out to him and more power to him. Hopefully he'll be on the show soon. And that'll be dope. But we've had an amazing, action-packed, very enlightening evening, learning how to say no, knowing what your gifts are, and being able to have dope friends to encourage you, to keep you going, and realizing that when you don't care, it helps to take the fear out of things and lets you be as authentically beautiful and enriched as you can be. And so we appreciate you for being on here.
Thank you all, and I appreciate you for listening to my music and everyone out there that I've met, and just this opportunity. It's a blessing.
Oh, we listening to your music, dog. Like, that ain't even, you ain't got to ask us to do that. That's a necessity. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I just skip people and just go straight to your song. So that's what I do, just being honest.
Being a little moody there.
Indeed. Clearly. I love that song. Anyway, the glow up is real, you know what I'm saying? And the kitchen is closed. But that doesn't mean that we're closed from hearing more from you. So if you are an independent artist and you're dope, or you know somebody, shout out to Dave Thomas for plugging other people who are dope and getting them to send us their music, because that's what it's all about. So keep the chain of support going. We love it. It's the IAG movement. If you haven't gotten your IAG shirt, we're having a sale right now. It's the same price as it's been all along. It's just a sale because we want you to go ahead and buy. You know what I'm saying? Support the IAG movement. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't do this without you, and so we need you. But we are the plug, and so we're plugging this. So anyway, each and every week we say thank you, and we say IAG baby.
IAG baby.
IAG baby.
Hey, you're now listening to.
See you guys.
Okay, Curb. Yeah, you gonna have to. That's that new one right there. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
Just another